You know that feeling when you're super locked in on the fitness journey and you're like, yo, I'ma eat clean, I'ma train hard, I'ma just do everything I can, I'ma sleep good, I'ma just do everything I can to really lock this in. This is like your training arc. This is when you go in, you have that like 3 a.m. like spirit of mind moment, you're like, fuck, I need to get my shit together. You come in, you're locked in with everything, and everything's going well. Like you're eating well, you're training hard, you're training consistently, nothing is falling off, and you're doing really, really good. But like your boys call you out, or you have a party to go to, or you have a reception, or whatever it is, and that time comes, and someone's like, yo, you want to drink? And it's fine. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be drinking, but it's like, yo, one drink turns into two, turns into four, turns into six, turns into 10, turns into 15, and you don't remember shit. The next day, you wake up, you're just plastered. You don't know what you ate, you know how many drinks you had, and you're just in a horrible spot. Or another example, go out with your boys. They're like, yo, let's grab food. So you're like, oh shit. I don't know if I have calories for this, right? Like you're trying to be on this fat loss journey. You're trying to burn off the love handles. You're trying to make sure you can really lock in. Like Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, you're locked in, right? Like you're just by yourself. There's no one bothering you. And then this comes up and you're like, fuck, what do I say? So okay, whatever. You don't want to be the one that says no. So go with them. Get food. Everyone gets food, and you're there, and you're like, yo, fuck it. You just get whatever, right? You get like, you're not that hungry, but you just get the burger and the fries with like a couple beers just because everyone else having beers, so you should too. And shit like that. Or another example. You've ate everything, you've done whatever. Like this has happened to me multiple times. I've had my breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm chilling. I've hit all my calories for the day. I'm like, yo, sick. Girl hits you up. She's like, yo, let's go grab some food. Let's go grab some ice cream. Fuck. How you gonna say no to your girl, bro? It's managing situations like that, and like that's like another, and that's you caving again, right? And that leads to you waking up next day. You woke up. That leads to you waking up next day, and you feel like shit. You're like, fuck. There's post yes clarity, right? Like it's like the post nut clarity, and you're sitting back and you're like, fuck. Did I really do that? Like, was it worth it? And you're sitting there and you're just in shambles because you've worked so hard, and then when it comes to like these events where it's not just you have to talk to other people and tell them that this is happening or that's happening or say no. That's the hard part, right? Because you can get locked in and that throws you off. And I think that was the number one thing I struggled with on my fitness journey for a long, long time. As someone that not only lost the fat, but gained it back multiple times. Like I'm talking 3, 4 times over, right? Like I've been in shape, I lost the weight, I've gained the weight. And for me, as someone that constantly yo-yoed, it's because I wasn't able to handle these situations when I went out with people, when I had to be at a family party and uncles and aunts would like offer me food, and I like couldn't say no because like I was just scared. Like I wanted to fit in. Like people would be like, "Oh, you're on a diet." I'm like, I was like, "Okay, I'll have some," and I just fucking bitch out, and that's held me back. I can imagine how much is holding you back right now, because every time like the finish journey, people always think it as like, "Oh, it's you versus you." So yeah, it is to a point when you're doing all the stuff in your room, when you're training, when you're eating the food, where you don't have to eat out with other people, you can just eat by yourself. That's the hard part because you have to change habits. But the hardest part is you versus the world. And the reason for that is because whether you care about it or not, what people think of you matters. Their perception of you matters. Because at the end of the day, even if it's not consciously, their perception of you is how you perceive yourself to some degree, right? So if they see this skinny fat dude, this dude who's like 20, 30 pounds overweight, who doesn't really lift, who doesn't really train hard, they see this dude, that's who they've seen their entire lives. That's who they've seen the entire time they've known you. Right? They don't see this person as someone that's like really into fitness, looks really good, makes healthy decisions, like isn't this like fucking like person that you want to be, right? And the easiest way for you to sort of navigate the situation is to, number one, identify who you want to become, right? Like figure out, like set some actual goals. Like, you know, that midnight, 1 a.m. burst of inspiration, I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna get my shit together. Have that energy, sit down and write out exactly what you want to do. I'm not saying, like, I have that on my desk right here. Like, it's like a vision board of everything I want to become. Right, whether that's my fitness, whether that's my wealth, whether that's my relationships, whether that's the experiences. Like, I want to experience, like, I have it mapped out to a T, because every day when I wake up, I'm doing everything through that lens. Like, that's what I'm taking all of my actions on. That's what I'm taking all my words on. So what I want you to do is figure out who the fuck you want to become. If you want to be jacked out of your mind, if you want to look good when you take your shirt off, if you want to, not for a selfish reason, but have people fucking stare at you and be like, damn, that guy did that shit. Write that down. Figure out who you want to be, right? And then not only do you have to work to create your habits, but you also have to work to change the perception of others. Because at the end of the day, when you're going out to these places, when you're going out with your friends, when you're going out to these parties, this is an opportunity for you to reinvent yourself. By saying no, by making alternative arrangements, by saying, yo, like, this isn't really for me right now. I don't really need that drink. I think I'm good right now. It's by holding that drink in your hand and milking the shit out of it. It's by eating high protein food before you go out. I'm like, yo, just get like a protein like snack or whatever. Get like the lowest calorie option. Just get a drink when you go out instead of eating all the food. Doing things like that, that's what's gonna slowly condition the people around you to understand that you're actually serious. Because you've heard it all the time. Anyone can go out and say, yo, I'm on this fitness grind. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna do XYZ. As someone who fucking trains people, do you know how many times I've spoken with someone who is interested in training and tells me that shit? They don't sign up for training. They're like, oh, yo, this is impacting my life. Blah, 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 blah. And then they just dick around for the rest of their lives. It's not even to work with me, just to like train and live a healthy life by themselves. They just dick around. And it's like, people always talk, right? And the best way for you to go about these situations is to realize that the way you interact with others, things that you say to them, the things that you do, the things that you not only say yes to in your life, the things that you say no to when they're around, those things all create this identity. Those things all create the person that you want to be, right? And if every day you're coming back and you're like, fuck, like, why did I say yes to that? Or why did I do that? Then you really have to take a look at yourself in the mirror and figure out who exactly you are, who exactly you want to be, and everything needs to start working backwards from who you want to be. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to matter if you can stay locked in and do your monk mode or your training arc by yourself. Because as humans, our life is revolved around other humans. That's when we're going to truly succeed. That's when we're truly going to be the greatest. And if you can't maximize your time around these people to really fit the goals and lifestyle you want, you're going to be in a bad place, because you're going to have just the feeling of regret and the feeling that you can't do anything, because every time you go out, you just go back to what's comfortable. And those situations are hard. It's tough. But every time you go through it, it's like a trial and tribulation. Right? It's like a skill. It's like missing a basketball every time you shoot it. Steph Curry wasn't making that shit 100 out of 100 times. He was missing probably at the beginning, right? And every single time he got better and better. So you have to go into it saying, okay, how am I gonna say no to this person? How am I gonna say no to the dickhead that keeps egging me on? That's like, oh, keeps offering me the food, keeps offering me the drink. What am I gonna say to that person? Am I just gonna walk away? Like, yo, I'm good. Because I used to be that dickhead that used to peer pressure other people. So it's like, yo, what do you guys say to them? It's like, nah, man, I really don't want this. Because at some point, people really don't give a shit what you're doing. But you have to change that perspective. There's that perspective. There's that vision people have of you. There's a vision you have of yourself. And until that's completely aligned, and that may never be aligned, but you have to pull people toward that. And there's always going to be pushback because people have always seen you a certain way. Once you can understand that, being able to say no, look at every opportunity that you have, whether it's going out with your friends, whether it's a party, it's your girl. Learn to say no. Learn to stand your ground. And that's going to go a long way in actually getting them to change the way they look at you. Because if you just conform to whatever they say or whatever they expect of you to happen, you're stay in the exact same, you're going to stay in the exact same spot that you are right now. So I hope that helped. Start learning to say no. Start figuring out who you want to be. And then work backwards from there. Coach Kegs, catch you next one.